Okay, good morning, everybody. Do you hear my voice?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good. So, good morning, dear colleagues, friends, and welcome to this webinar, which is the third webinar in a row in this 3 webinars series, and the final one that we organized during this autumn. So today we are going to talk about very topical issue, namely how you present your project online. And this is, of course, something which is a new reality for all of us during this pandemic. Today we have a couple of case studies, if you say so. Our invited guests will present that, and Henna will guide us into this topic. But before going to the topic, I still want to remind you about a couple of things. First one is a reminder about the microphones that you most know already, so keep your microphones muted while not speaking. And then during the webinar you have a possibility to make questions, and for that we are using Slido. And Nico, please, if you can present the Slido and give necessary guidance for using that.
Just a moment. Okay, now we should see the main screen. So during this presentation, you are able to send some questions to us. So therefore, log in Slido. It's slido.com. The code is #20627, or you can use your cell phone and read that QR code. And this address is also in the chat section. In Slido, you can write questions and also upvote others' questions. So even if you don't have any questions yet, log in Slido anyway, because this Slido ranks the questions to the upvotes, and the most voted questions will be on the top and will be answered first at the end of our presentation. And then some technical issues. The character mark is 160, so therefore try to make short questions, or you can send those questions in pieces like part 1 and part 2, etc. And if we don't have enough time to answer these questions today, they will be answered later, and this information will be found in our webpage. So if you have any questions about Slido during this presentation, send the message in chat section, so I'll try to figure out.
Okay, thank you, Nico, for practical guidance. So let's start, and I give the floor to Henna-Mari, please.
Thank you. I will start by sharing my screen. Just a moment. Can you see it? Hopefully, yes.
Yes.
Good. So today the idea is not to tell you what you should do when you are presenting your project online, because this is something that I cannot tell you. I do not have the expertise for that. But the main idea today is to give you some ideas on what could be done, some possibilities, and the main point is to encourage you to do something. So at the moment, sorry, we are living in a situation when we cannot organize physical events, so we have to organize events online. So it is something we have to do, but it is also something we can do, because basically you could just decide that, okay, we are not going to do anything, but that should not be the option. shortly, the content of the webinar. First of all, let's try to find some positive aspects on this situation. Let's think of this as an opportunity instead of something we have to do. Then some ideas for the means, how can the project be presented online? And we have 2 case studies included here. Then some practical issues that probably should be taken into account when organizing activities online. And then if you have any questions, but not actually only questions, but if you have any ideas or something to share on the topic, that would also be valuable information for the managing authority and for the other projects. So do provide your feedback in Slido if you have any. But actually, before going to the opportunities, I would like to ask if you are already organized events online, and well, not only events, but some kind of activities in your project, and not thinking staff meetings, but something for the staff mainly. So you should see the poll now on your screen. So if you could answer the question. So let's see what the situation is at the moment. Let's wait for a couple of seconds more if the number is still rising, and then I will end the polling. Okay, I think the number is not rising anymore, so we can see the results. So 60% of you have already organized a project event online. So basically you already have experience. So we should get some ideas in the Slido. Some of you have set a date, or at least thought of it, and then we still have some projects who have not thought of organizing a project event online. So thank you for this information. It's valuable, and it will be interesting to hear what kind of events you have already done. Okay, so back to the positives. So the main possibility, in my opinion, is that now that we are working online, you have the chance to reach new target groups for your events. When the event is not physical and we do not need to travel and we do not have to spend that much time for events, you can think more widely on the people you want to invite, you want to reach. So in this respect, I would like to encourage you to think outside the stakeholders that you defined in your grant application, and think, for example, of the other CPC projects that are funded by other programs, both in Finland and Russia, but also in the other countries. And basically you can think Europe-wide, even globally. So the idea is that when you are disseminating the project results, you could now really use this opportunity and invite people who would not spend days to travel to your final seminar, for example, to participate in an event that takes 20 minutes or so, or to share the content that you have published online. So I think this is a great opportunity for our projects to use. And then in the same family of opportunities, this also gives you a chance to bring new kind of expertise to the events. Again, it may not be cost efficient to hire an expert to travel for 3 days to participate in a seminar in Petrozavodsk and speak there for 30 minutes. But now it can very easily be cost efficient to bring them to an online activity. It's much cheaper when people do not have to travel. So thinking this both from the target groups and stakeholders and from the expertise wise, you have the chance to really search people outside those groups that you would have searched when you were organizing physical events. Then another aspect, we would like to encourage you to create more permanent content. So when thinking on the project work plans, quite a few of you had planned to organize physical events, study tours, final seminars, and so on. And of course, you can still do those kind of things online. But then it is also possible to, first of all, record the events or make some kind of compilations and publish those online. So this kind way you can create something permanent, something that people can come back to and find also later. Or then you can try different kind of solutions and create, for example, video content tutorials, something like that. And then you can once again reach more people than doing it physically. And all these things lead towards trying something new. And I think this is here the main point, that it's the opportunity. We can try something new and learn from that and maybe find some ways to do things also when we are living in the past pandemic world. As I said, I do not have the comprehensive list of the means how you can present your project online. Here are some ideas, and many of you have probably already organized online events. Even we at the Managing Authority have heard of some online events. And when thinking online events, you have the chance to organize either live events like this, so we are here all at the same time, or we have already seen some pre-recorded events. So creating, for example, content and then publishing it at certain time. Then creating content is also possible by doing virtual exhibitions. I will show you an example of that later. Many of you have published videos already before the pandemic, and that can be, of course, continued still. And then, for example, tutorials. If you have some expertise in your project, we do encourage you to share it this way as well. So if you had a plan to organize workshop, a live physical workshop in your project, basically maybe that expertise could be shared as a tutorial that can be studied by people more widely than was originally planned. Then it is also possible to think the online presence by paying for visibility. For example, by using bloggers, and we will speak about that also a bit later. Then, as already Marko mentioned, we have 2 case studies. First of all, we have the Karelian Art Residency Network and Art Tourism Project that organized a hybrid final seminar in September. and we should have Anna Härkönen from the project to tell about their experiences. Do we have Anna here? I will stop sharing now. So
yes, hello to everyone. Do you hear me?
yes. Nice to see you.
Okay, so I will start my presentation first. Okay, do you see my presentation now?
Yes.
Okay, I will open it in full screen. So my name is Anna Härkönen and I work at Visit Karelia, and we was a partner of a Karelian art residency network and art tourism project, which ended in September. And main partner was a tourist information center of the Republic of Karelia. So we had our end seminar, project and seminar in the middle of September. And I am here to tell you about our experience of hybrid seminar, not only online. So here's a picture of our seminar in Joensuu. We had participants here in Joensuu from Finnish side, and Russian side was online, and part of participants was in Finland also online, and we had also part of our speakers here in Joensuu, but also online. So it was quite complicated task because we had two languages. We need to translate. Languages was Finnish and Russian. We decided not to choose English because we had people from creative industry, from tourism, from different organizations, and one of our main tasks was to bring people together, not only show the results of project. We wanted to connect people also, because this seminar we originally had to have in April, and it was not planned as project end seminar, because at project end we had another plans which we couldn't made because of Corona. So we needed to cancel our April seminar and start planning a new seminar as final seminar in summer. We start planning new seminar at June, July. So we moved seminar from April to September. We waited as long as it was possible because we definitely wanted to bring people meet each other. When we realized that it will not be possible, so we decided to keep hybrid seminar in September, and we changed it also from 2 days seminar to 1 day. And actually I need to say that 1 day was also too long time. It was a 6-hour seminar, so it was also too long time. I would recommend you to have a seminar for 3 or maximum 4 hours. And we needed also to change the concept from bring people together, work together, create something new together. New seminar was more listening and learning from each other. So here you see the people was in a big meeting room in Joensuu, because in September the situation of corona was still quite good here, and we had on the most participants was online, so the registered people, we have registered 70 person, and all time listening, project listening about from 30, around 30-40 people. So as Henna-Mari said before, I don't think if we would have only physical seminar, we wouldn't have as much participants as we had online, because there was people around Finland and Russian Korea. Our challenges was this seminar hybrid model. We wanted to make still the seminar as we have challenged with seminar hybrid model in communications. So we wanted that people who take part to the seminar can communicate still with each other. So not only hear and see, but also ask questions. And we had some problems, technical issues with this. And we have technical issues with translation also. But despite all this, I recommend to have, my strongest recommendation is to just arrange seminar. Our platform was, for example, we choose a Teams, but after the seminar, of course, we see that it wasn't the best possibility platform. We have learned a lot. Maybe Zoom would be better for this kind of hybrid seminar. But my advice is also make it simple. So if you and have a good technical support. We had technical team, and we have the challenges also to find technical team in Joensuu who could help us to arrange this kind of hybrid seminar. But I think we get our tasks, and we get quite good feedback after the seminar, despite of technical issues. Well, if you have some questions, I will be happy to answer you.
Actually, there's two questions to you, Anna.
Yeah.
One in the chat. What kind of difficulties did you have with the translation?
Well, the voice, we have difficulties with voice. We had very good person for translate, but the voice wasn't here all the time to all participants.
Okay, and the other one is in Slido that did you do the marketing for your final seminar? Did it work, and did you reach these target groups that you wished?
Yes, we made our marketing, so we place the seminar information in social media, in our own channels. We also shared information with our affiliates and in our newsletters. and we reach our target groups in tourism quite well in Finland. But for example, I think we didn't reach creative people, creative target group as good as tourism.
Okay. Yes, that's okay. There's a third one. Did you use simultaneous or consecutive translation techniques?
First, it was simultaneous, and in the middle of the seminar, we had to change it because of technical problems.
Okay, thank you. That's all for now.
Thank you, Anna. I would like to ask Jarkko, who was the contact person of your project and participated your event. How did the event seem to you, Jarkko, as a participant?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, in my opinion, the seminar was indeed very well organized in overall. And thank you, Anna, and whole project team for that. And it was a great overview of what this project was produced. And in addition, there were those interesting presentations around culture and art tourism and video tour, including all 3 art residencies in Karelia, was also well produced. It kind of streamlined the content of the seminar and made project achievements also more concrete in the middle of all the other presentations. And it was actually real cross-border event when the broadcast was by turns in Finland and Russia. And of course there were those troubles with sounds or something. But I think we have to admit that online events are usually challenge for organizers and sometimes even for participants.
And how do you think, Jarkko, as the contact person of the project, was it easier for you to participate the event this way, or would you have preferred to go to a physical event?
Sure. The participation is naturally quite easy when all the connections are working. Usually there is no possibility for managing authority to participate in most of the final seminars or any other events organized by the projects. But now there's a possibility to take several events during 1 week, at least in theory. And for example, the Culture Open Project's Parafest Live online event, which is ongoing at the moment. You can pop in it several times per day if you like. And finally, compared to traditional final seminar, when you participate online, it offers all the participants the front row seats.
Thank you, Jarkko.
There's one question for Anna. So, what online application did you use? Is it Zoom or Teams, and was it accessible to everyone who wanted to access?
Yes, we used Teams, and everyone who had a link could access.
Okay, thank you.
But you already mentioned that retrospectively you thought that the Teams was not the best possible platform.
Yes.
So you would probably choose a different platform if you organize the event.
Yes, probably. Now I have more experience after this seminar. I have arranged several cross-border meetings, and mainly we have used Zoom. And now when I see all possibilities of Zoom, for example, of course there is different platform, but now when I see all possibilities of Zoom, I would choose now Zoom, for example.
Okay. Thank you. And thank you for all these experiences, what you have told us. I think there is plenty of useful information for those who are still just considering organizing an event like that. So thank you for sharing with us today. Then we have another case study, and this comes from Colarctic CPC project. So as you probably know, Colarctic CPC projects include not only Finland and Russia, but also Norway and Sweden. And in the framework of a large infrastructure project, reconstruction of the road Kaamonen-Kirkkenes, they organized a virtual media event for all 4 countries. So now we have Anna Nina from the project to tell us about that experience.
Hello, everyone. Unfortunately, I don't have a video. And well, just a second, I will put on my presentation. Okay, F8. Just a second. Okay. Yes, my name is Anna and I represent Project Management Center. We are situated in Murmansk and I actually represent Lotta project. Yeah, you can see that the main activities in our project is reconditioning parts of the road. So here you can see the basic information about project. The project is financed by Colarctic CBC program. We have lead partner in Murmansk. That's the organization which dealing with road administration, Murmansk Avtodor, and also we are partners in this project, and we have partner from Finland. So our project is supported by a number of local authorities and also of authorities from Finland. And just another basic information about our project. So what do we do here? As you can see, we are not intending to really work with people. Our main activities are focused on road reconditioning. So, and that's the hardest part, I would say, but also we have competence building a component, which is about training of specialists and conducting surveys of local citizens and organizing expert session. Oh, sorry. Sorry, that's the basic information about our project for you to know. And here we have the basic concept of our event. So as you can see, pandemic didn't influence our roadworks at all, and we were lucky in that case. And last October, we had expert session with mass media for our project only, and we had great results. And of course, this year it wasn't possible at all. So we decided to went online. We contacted MA and suggested our idea to organize this kind of event. And also we thought like, okay, we can also invite partners and colleagues from other projects. And this will help us to make this event bigger and more interesting for mass media. So we formed a coordination committee where all 3 large-scale projects were present. So in Colarctic CBC, they have only 3 large-scale projects involved. The other one is also that Heli-Marie mentioned, that's the Kaamonen-Kirkkenes road reconstruction, and also there is one connected with reconstruction of Rai-Jooseppi border crossing point. So here we go. 3 projects were involved in this event, and of course we divided responsibilities. So we thought that the basic structure of our event will be 1.5 hours maximum event, and we will do the presentations of all 3 LIP projects, and after that we are going to have a Q&A session and possibly streaming to YouTube. Well, with streaming we had some issues because we couldn't agree like to which channel we shall do the streaming. So, and as you know, like our projects are really about like infrastructure. So we don't really have like our own YouTube channel or anything. So then we decided, okay, we will think about, and maybe next time we will do this streaming. So target group, of course, we had the communication plan, and we made this plan in the beginning of our projects. And basically, we had for Lotta project, we had like 50 contacts in this communication, in this list of regional mass media. Also, other two projects, they also had their list of mass media. And also we invited representative of Calartic program to our organization committee, and they also contributed with some contacts. And actually on the second meeting, we had representative of Swedish branch office, and they also agreed to forward our press release to mass media in Sweden, which was very nice because we didn't have any Swedish partners in all three large-scale projects. And we were lucky enough, and there were some representative of Swedish mass media in our event. And also we decided to involve stakeholders. So here you can see the list of stakeholders, mainly from Russia, but also we have Traficon. Practicalities. So it was quite difficult for our partners in Finland and Norway to organize a Zoom session. Of course, we did this responsibility. And then I'm sure that many of you know, because I saw this questionnaire that we had in the beginning of this meeting, that quite a lot of you had an experience of organizing online events. So we just switched to business plan. That's the plan on Zoom platform that allow us to have the simultaneous interpretation. And of course, we included instruction on how to use Zoom with press release. This document had a short description of all three projects and agenda. And then we thought, okay, how we can, on Russian side, involve more like to raise the interest of mass media. So we decided to suggest our vice governor to have a welcoming word, and we were lucky enough and they agreed. So that's how we got quite a few representative of local mass media here in Murmansk. So of course we pre-tested this event as I'm sure like all of you do, and we also invited interpreters. We were thinking that we will need more interpreters, but our colleagues from other countries, they said like, okay, let's do this event in English. And of course, we needed to have Russian-English interpretation, which was quite easy to implement. So of course, there were some issues. So we had to remind our interpreters to switch channels in the beginning because she forgot to do it, but it was just, you know, like our, I don't know, well, we can say that it was like minus or something. And of course, we informed our participant to use this option as well. We had 34 participants in total from all, well, 4 countries. And these are the results. We had like 4 publications in Russian mass media, which was very nice because, you know, this topic of the event and the topics that are covered in our projects, they're quite specific. And also we had some publications in Norway and in Finland. So in Swedish, actually, I need to send a letter and ask if there were some publications. Yes, and lessons learned, we agreed that actually that was quite valuable, very good dissemination of information. And among local people and mass media also, now they know about the projects more. Because before that event, there were some publications here and there, and now it's like more information available. Of course, we have better communication with other large-scale projects, and we are working together, so we shall work as a team. And actually, we noticed that our projects, they make a loop. You can see here on this map that our projects, they create this kind of circle. So, and we decided to use this feature as our advantage in promoting like this kind of events. So next March, we agreed to have a second part of this event where we will present achieved results. And you're welcome to join. Sorry, there is a mistake, but it's okay. You're welcome to join and inform about your transport project in Karelia CBC. Yes, basically that's it from me. Do you have any questions?
Thank you, Anna. I would like to ask if you think this was a good way to reach the media. They did participate in the event, yes.
Yes, we think that it's a good way, and you know, it was very good because they, well, mass media, they shouldn't go anywhere. Basically, they're sitting in their office and they're getting this information. That means that we can invite them, and more people will appear on our event because, you know, just click on your computer and you are already in the meeting and you can ask your questions. And we think that's the easier way. So we are making the job of mass media representative easier. So I think it's very good.
And
There's a one.
go ahead.
Okay, there's a Slido. There's a one short question that did you receive feedback from the participants that did they like the online approach?
Yes, there were a few calls to our office, and they thanked us for the event, and they just asked for additional information about our project. And I know that in Finland there were also a couple of calls to our Finnish partners and to lead partners of other projects. From Lapinkansa, there was a call for sure. So where they just asked additional information, and also it looks like they liked the event. So also in press release we had our contacts, so it would be easier to contact us.
Okay, thank you.
I can also comment on that. I heard about this event from the managing authority of the Galactic CBC, and they told that it, on their opinion, it was a successful event. So also the managing authority did like the concept. Okay, if there are not any other questions, I think I will thank you, Anna. I think this was, again, really useful information and interesting
Thank you.
to hear on the organizing a media event, and good idea for our project as well to try to reach the media as well. So now we have heard our case studies and guests, so we can continue on the list of the ideas on the means. So Jarkko already mentioned the Parafest Live that is organized by the Culture Open project. So during 8 days, they are publishing pre-recorded content online, both in Russian and Finnish. So there's plenty and plenty of content. Just to show you like 20 minutes clip, I don't have the voices working. So there's not going any further because the voices do not work, but you can go and take a look on the event. I will share the link in the chat. So this is one way to organize a project event online. And then another option are the virtual exhibitions. This is something I believe our projects have not tried yet. At least I have not heard of anybody. So I thought this is a good concept to bring up. So for example, Interreg organized a 30 years exhibition. Interreg turned have its 30th birthday this year, and there was supposed to be a big party in Brussels in October, but obviously that could not be organized. So instead, they created an online exhibition. So basically, it works just like going to any regular exhibition. You can take a look on different kind of posters. There are podcasts to listen to, some video content as well, and rooms that you can enter and find information on the matters that you are interested in. So this is a one way to create content on your project. There is a link in the presentation to artsteps.com. So I have not used this, but I did some research online, and this is a free tool with which you can create virtual exhibitions. So, and there are plenty of other tools as well, but just to show you one option. So basically you can create a tour on your own. You can present your material, you can include music, you can include introduction texts to a guided tour. And of course, the exhibition doesn't need to be about art. It can be basically on your project. So this would be one option to present your project online. And then back to the presentation. One way to get visibility online would be to pay for it. I guess you can see the presentation now. And now we go from the beginning. So at least one project, Greensol, has already done it. They hired a blogger to participate in, to participate in a tour where they presented the project results. And then the blogger posted about his experiences on Instagram. And I can see that there were over 23,000 likes on the post, which at least from my perspective is quite a lot, thinking that the program's Instagram account has something like, I think, less than 100 followers at the moment. So definitely something like this is an option that also the projects can use. So about the practicalities. Now we mentioned only a couple of different kind of online actions, and you probably already have ideas for different kind of actions. So of course you need to choose the action according to your objective. If you want to engage people and have a chat with them, then an online event, live event is better option than creating content that somebody just goes and takes a look at some point. But no matter what kind of action you organize, I would really like to encourage you to invite everybody. So as it was mentioned by both of our case studies as well, it is easier for people to participate in the online activities than travel somewhere to participate in a physical event. So do use this opportunity and invite people as widely as ever possible. Be bold in this respect. But regardless of the format, be concise. Anna mentioned that the seminar they organized lasted for 6 hours and they noted that it's too long. She said she would just suggest max 3 hours, and I think that is a good advice. And I think the shorter, the better. If you can say it in 15 minutes, say it in 15 minutes. If the seminar can last for 1 hour, then make it last for 1 hour and not 2. And this relates to the attention span of the people. I read that in the online events, the attention span is from 5 to 10 minutes. So basically, I have a maximum 10 minutes to speak to you, to show slides, and then you will be bored. And also you need to take into account that even it is easier for people to come to your online event, it is also easier for people to not really be there. Probably most of you are at the very moment you are doing your emails at the same time, or maybe you are not even by the computer, even it shows you are there. So it is really important to remember the attention span and not to try to create too long content. And then also one thing that we have noticed when participating in European-wide online events is the importance of the time of the day. So if you organize a live event, it should be considered carefully what time of the day you organize the event. Probably not very early in the morning. I saw one event that was starting at 8 o'clock in the morning, at least in my opinion, that is way too early. And then most of the events organized by the Interact that organizes events for the programs, the events take place at lunchtime from the Finnish perspective, and this is also not the best possible scenario, in my opinion. So the time is also important, but not only time, but money. And by speaking about money, I probably got your attention for a moment. So now that we are in most cases speaking about events that were not planned originally, so you have not planned online activities in your work plan, just to be on the safe side, ask your contact person before you spend a lot of money. So I'm not saying that we would be against on the online events, definitely not, but it is always safer to check that the costs are eligible before you spend the money. Equipment. If you need some kind of technical equipment for a one-time event or just for a short period, we would advise you to use rental or leasing. So just for a one-time event, if you want to buy some technical equipment, it is probably not going to be considered eligible. For more permanent use that is somehow relating to the project objective, acquisition may be eligible, but do contact your contact person before acquiring anything. Then, of course, you may need services, interpretation, technical assistance, something like that. And those, of course, can be used when relevant, when needed. As always, do remember tendering and documenting the selection process. That is important. And then paying for the visibility. I mentioned that you can, if it fits your project objectives, hire bloggers or that kind of expertise and pay for them. That is possible. And in this case, it might be difficult to do the tendering. It can't be done in a traditional way. But if you go to that part, you still need to somehow document the selection process and the principles for payment. You cannot just choose somebody and pay for them for something. Then also it has been asked by some projects if social media advertising can be used. And that is also possible. And I think that might be a good idea in some occasions. So for example, if you are organizing any activities online, if you, for example, made a virtual exhibition and you would like to reach as many people as possible, it is possible to pay for social media advertising. It doesn't need to be thousands of euros. You can start with like 50 euros or even less. So that can be tried and it can be part of your communication budget. I've said many times, but that you should invite people to your activities widely. I would like to remind you to invite at least the managing authority to your activities, and also it is good to remember that there are other projects that might be interested in your online events. I think it's also valuable to share your experiences. There is no need to everybody to go through the same technical difficulties, for everybody to learn that Zoom might be better than Teams and how to get the interpretation working. So if you have already done something, if you have already learned something, at least we now have the Yammer channel for the project. It is not really active at the moment, but it is something that you could use. Unfortunately, it doesn't work with personal email accounts. So for example, if your organization is using Google Mail, it doesn't work, but that is something we cannot do. But still, if you have experiences on online events that could help the others, I would really value that shared information. Now we still have like 2 minutes for questions, ideas, or if you have something to share, and then we will be on time. Nico, do we have any questions?
Yeah, there are a few questions, comments in Slido. Just a moment, I'll share the screen. Okay, I hope you all see it. So there's a question, comments about this house space, and would Kareli CBC offer some kind of license for the system for project events?
Does that mean, I do not know that tool. So does it mean that the program could buy a license and offer it for projects to use? Oh, do you have information on the tool? Okay, maybe we will check the tool and see how it works.
Okay.
And the links to the virtual exhibition tools, they are included in the presentation, and that will be uploaded to our website.
And then there was one question for Anna. Did you combine a written press release information text with the online events? Is Anna still online?
Well, it was a written press release and So, well, actually, we did press release online in PDF format and then forwarded to all the stakeholders and all mass media from the list. So, and then like our local government, they also published this press release on their webpage. So it was written, yes.
Okay.
But we didn't print it out, of course.
Okay, thank you.
Oti is commenting in the chat that it was her suggestion that the program could buy the license. We will check the tool and discuss if that is possible. And of course, we need to know if projects would be interested in using that kind of tools. We will discuss the issue.
And the next one is like question for all that has anyone done Instagram live streaming to present the project? Is there
I
any
guess this is something that we need to, for example, ask in the Yammer, or if somebody would like to comment that. At least no projects have told to the managing authority that they are doing Instagram live streaming, but we will definitely be interested to see that.
And then the last question about, would you recommend social media events, Instagram, Facebook, Webkontakte, not for end seminars, but for example, other events for specific target groups?
I would say yes. I would say that it really doesn't matter the tool. You use all the tools you can find and try all the ways you can reach the target groups. I don't know if you have noticed, but during the European Cooperation Day, we, for the first time, made an Insta Live. We have Nuutti, our trainee, traveling for the day through the project locations, and he did post it to Instagram and made this live streaming there. So we have actually tried that. Of course, we do not have that many followers yet, but I think that would be a good idea also for the projects to try. And then if it doesn't work, I think with any tools, you can always try it as long as it doesn't cost like millions of euros or is really not cost efficient. And if it doesn't work, if you do not reach the people, then you know that, okay, this didn't work, we will try something else next time. There are also some comments in the chat on the things that have been done or that shall be done in Kulta. They will publish a virtual art exhibition in January. That will be interesting. And also in the Northern Crafts ID is planning to organize a virtual photo exhibition.
Yeah.
But I think we are running out of time. We have already 3 minutes over the deadline, so I think it's time to close the event.
Okay.
So I guess I will be closing the event. So thank you all for coming. Or Marco, you can also close the event if you wish, but I would like to say thank you. Thank you and be present online. That is what I would like to say, and be bold and do think all kind of ideas, and do not forget to tell the managing authority what you are doing and the other project as well. And if you are not yet in the Yammer channel, do join it and share the experiences. I think it's important that you support each other. Marko.
Okay, thank you, Henna-Mari. Maybe thanking, of course, Henna-Mari about good presentation, and special thanks to our invited guests. Really good and valuable information as we heard. So thank you for participating into this webinar. Take use of this information that you got and share your experiences as Henna urged you to do. So that's really something that benefits us all. And having said that, so we are in December already, and I guess we are not going to meet with you during this year anymore. So thank you for the cooperation during this year. Stay safe, continue your work with your project, and we'll come back online jointly during the next year. We will publish information about forthcoming events. So next year we will definitely continue with online events and wish to meet you also live. Thank you, everybody, and stay safe.